Hi, welcome to The Art of Yoga with Cat Justice, and this is month 9 in my prenatal yoga series. So congratulations for making it this far. I always think month 9 is a confusing idea because we're told pregnancy lasts 9 months, but then once we become pregnant, we're told that the pregnancy starts before we were actually pregnant, a month before that. So we get to month 9 and we still have, a month or two to go. So hopefully to do this video, it's supposed to be done around between that 8 to 9 months of pregnancy, somewhere around 32 to 36 weeks. So this week, this month, we're gonna focus on the breath. Because I don't know about you, but I'm starting to feel a lot of the energy drain out of me, particularly in the evenings. So this is a very gentle, breath-focused yoga practice to help kind of replenish that energy, as well as to cultivate that deeper body-mind connection that's going to help to kind of get you through these last months, as well as through delivery and recovery, and really your whole life. That mind-body connection is just amazing. So we're gonna play with it. So let's start out seated. You can sit on a blanket if that's more comfortable for you. You can sit on a chair if you want, but you're going to close your eyes. And with the eyes closed, just starting to cultivate that internal awareness. Breathing in and out through the nose. Just starting to notice where your body moves as you breathe. Feeling that natural expansion of the rib cage on the inhales, the natural drawing back in on the exhales. If you're used to in your yoga practice taking these really deep belly breaths, you might find that there's something in the way that you can't get the breath as deep in the belly. So really just focusing on that lower rib cage can be a very helpful area to still feel that expansion. At the same time, let the shoulders, the chest, the neck, the throat, let that whole area just be soft as you breathe. Also starting to notice just the natural rhythm of your breath. Exhales to inhales, is one longer than the other? And trying to even the breath out, or maybe even let the exhales be a little longer than the inhales. And then from here, go ahead and open your eyes. And if the legs are crossed, let's just switch the cross of the legs just so we get even through our hips. And then we're going to start with some very gentle wrist circles, just circling through the wrists. And reverse direction. And then from here, go ahead, interlace your hands and then stretch them up towards the sky. As you reach your arms up, notice if you have this tendency to kind of extend the back or pop the rib cage forward. If that's what's happening, think about softening the rib cage down. It's okay if that means the hands don't go up so high. From here, see if you can feel that deeper breath moving into the sides of the rib cage. It's often a little easier to feel that movement with the arms up like this. And then on an exhale, you're going to go ahead, take your right hand to the ground. Spread the fingers, let that right elbow bend as you lift up and over, like you're lifting up and over a beach ball with your left arm. From here, now feel the breath really moving into the left ribs, the left waist. Relax the face, the jaw. Smoothing out the breath. Inhale to come back up, and exhale, release the arm down. We'll take the other side. You're going to interlace, maybe do it the weird way, with the usually right thumb on top is the weird one, but not for everybody. Reaching up, notice if the ribs pop, and then let them drop. Stay connected to the breath. And then take the little side bend to the other side. Dropping the left hand down, kind of push into that left hand as you open into the right ribs. Slow the breath down. And use the breath to find that deeper stretch. Inhale to come back up, and exhale, release the arm back down. From here, you're going to take both hands just a little bit behind your hips, roll the shoulders back, and think about lifting and opening just from the heart. So don't worry too much about opening the belly. Belly's plenty open as is. So you're just going to lift through the chest. Imagine like your shoulder blades are creating a little shelf for your heart to sit on. And then exhale, come forward. And from here, you can either just take the hands to the legs and just gently round forward, or if it's available to you, you can take the hands down to the ground, or you can even maybe lower to the elbows, bring the hands up to the head, or you can fold the hands. However far down you can naturally go, then just breathe into your back. Now feeling your back expand and open on the inhale and soften back in on the exhale. And from here, let your body just naturally come forward onto hands and knees. And we're going to move into child's pose. If you've been using a blanket, you can set it aside, or you can use it for child's pose under your hips. Either way, you're going to take your knees nice and wide to make room for the belly as you exhale and drop down. If it's more comfortable to have the hands under the head, that's just fine. And then from child's pose, gently rise up to hands and knees. From here, spread your fingers nice and wide. Get that nice tabletop. And then moving through cat and cow. As you exhale, round the back, drop the head, push the floor away. As you inhale, gentle arch to the back. Don't let the lower back just kind of pop down. Keep a little control, a little lift in the lower back. So exhale, round through the back. Inhale, gently arch, but don't let the belly win. You know, the belly's going to be pulling that back down. So keep that little bit of lift from the belly button to just support the back. Exhale, round. Inhale to arch, moving at your own pace. Start to really let the breath lead the movement. So the change in breath is what signifies the change in movement. Trying to feel that gentle undulation through the spine. Moving with the breath. And then on the next exhale, once again, take the knees wide, toes to touch, and take it into child's pose. From here in child's pose, go ahead and walk your hands over to the left, a hand print or two, and then feel your hips pull back and to the right. Let your head rest down. And once again, think of directing your breath into that right side of your body, into the rib cage. And then taking the other side, walking the hands over to the other side. I forget if it's left or right. Either way, you're going to pull your hips the opposite direction. Confessions of a dyslexic yoga teacher. Left and right are very fluid terms in my world. And then coming back to center, and a few more breaths, just feeling the breath into your back. And then from here, keep reaching forward, spread your fingers, tuck the toes, feel the strength in your legs and your belly lift you up and back into downward facing dog. Once you come into down dog, you can always have some bend in your knees to keep your back long. Feel free to march the feet in place, or even just take one heel down and pause for a breath or two. Take the other heel down, pause for a breath or two. Reaching both heels down. And then from here, you're going to step your feet about as wide as your yoga mat. A little bend in the knees and walk your hands back for a wide leg forward fold. Keep the knees slightly bent or a lot bent to support your back. Let your body hang. Bend the knees nice and deep. Push through the feet as you roll on up. It's okay if it takes a couple breaths. On an inhale, reach up through the arms. On an exhale, hands to the heart. From here, step your feet so that they're under your hips. Go ahead and close your eyes. Feel that little weight shift, left to right, front to back, as your feet search for equilibrium. And from here in mountain pose, maybe starting to add in the Ujjayi breath. So the Ujjayi breath has a little bit of a sound to it. It's very soft. Don't feel like you have to make it super loud, but it's that gentle constriction in the throat. Just as little bit of effort in the throat it takes to slow the breath down. It's the same breath we use when we fog up a mirror. You just do it breathing in and out through the nose. And you do it both on the inhale and the exhale. This Ujjayi breath helps to lengthen out the breath cycle, slow it down. And feel free to maintain that Ujjayi breath as we step the right foot forward and come into Warrior One pose. So you're going to square off through your hips, so the hips face straight forward. Bend the front knee till you can just see the big toe. Once again, interlace the hands and reach up through the arms. As you feel the breath, again, moving into those lower ribs, also engage the pelvic floor. Lift through the Mula Bandha. And then exhale, interlace the hands behind the back. Open through the chest. Gently release the arms. From here, take the hands to the hips, and we're going to shift into Warrior Two, walking your front foot in a little bit so that the feet now line up heel to arch. Bend through the front knee, and again, find the big toe, and reach through the arms. Shoulders are soft. Lift the pelvic floor. Flip the right palm up. Inhale, reverse warrior. Opening through the ribs. Exhale, take the hands to the hips. You're going to pivot that right foot, and then from here we're going to take the other side. Opening out through the left foot, heel to arch alignment, bend the left knee, and reach through the arms. Warrior Two on the other side. Grounding through the four corners of your feet, soften the shoulders. Flip the left palm up, inhale, up and back, feel the breath in the ribs. Slow the breath down. Exhale, take the hands to the hips, and now we're going to do a big turn. Open that left foot out so that the feet line up heel to heel. You might adjust your back foot so it faces forward again. Square off through the hips, interlace, and stretch up for warrior one. Relax the jaw, the forehead, the throat. And exhale, interlace the hands behind the back. Feel the chest and the heart open. Exhale, release the hands to the hips. And then from here, you can either step the back foot forward or the front foot back, or a little of both, to come to the other side of the mat, feet wide apart. Inhale, lift through the heart, and exhale, forward fold. Let the knees soften, let the body drop. From this forward fold, we're going to rewind, walk it back out into downward facing dog. And from down dog, slowly lower, back to child's pose. Once again, feeling the breath moving into your back, expanding on the inhale, soften on the exhale. Inhale, coming back up to hands and knees. And now we're going to move into pigeon pose. I really like, in pregnancy especially, using a blanket or a bolster in pigeon pose. So you can bring a blanket or some sort of support or prop to the upper right side of your mat. From here, we're going to move back to downward facing dog. I'm going to inhale, lift through the leg. As you exhale, bend the knee, slide the shin forward of the blanket. The blanket is going to tuck, or bolster, it's going to tuck underneath your right hip. From there, you scoot your right foot forward just as far as it's comfortable. If you feel strain at the knee, rewind and bring the foot back in. From there, your toes are gently going to drop back as you square off your hips. You can stay lifted on your arms. You can lower down. You can bring the hands up to your head. You can stack your fists, palms, head to the earth. Sometimes the blanket kind of gets in the way of the belly, so it might take a little scooting around to make a little space for the belly. But either way, you're going to rest down in pigeon. Feel that left leg grow soft for that deep stretch into the right hip. If the right knee doesn't feel good, come out of this pose. If the lower back doesn't feel good, come out of this pose. A little bit of pelvic floor lifting can really help to stabilize the sacrum here. Again, think of lengthening the breath cycle. Let the breath take longer. Keep it nice and balanced from inhale to exhale. Imagining as if you're breathing all the way down into your hips or into your pelvis. And then from here, you're going to walk your hands back up, tuck the back toes under, and we'll take the other side. So step it back to down dog. You can scoot your blanket to the other side. Inhale, lift the left leg. And exhale, step it forward, finding pigeon on the other side. Again, tuck the blanket under the hip, feeling out where that left leg wants to go. It might be similar to the right side. It might be very, very different. Either way, you're going to lower down any amount. Again, hands, elbows, head to hands, stack the fists, palms, head to earth, whatever feels good. And again, think about softening your right thigh towards the earth, deepening the stretch into the left hip. And then gently walk the hands back up. From there, tuck the back toes under and step it back to down dog. You can move the blanket aside and then take it back slowly into child's pose. From here, we're going to roll onto our backs now to take a version of bridge pose. So the reason why I'm including bridge was because in my last birth experience, they couldn't get the baby in the right position, and the doctor told me, gave me these complex directions about how I needed to step my feet under me and lift my hips, and basically she needed me to do a bridge, and it got the baby in the right position. So who knows if that's going to be helpful for you, but maybe. So let's practice it. So you're going to come down first onto your side and then roll onto your back. From there, step the feet under your knees, bring your arms to your sides. Very gently, we're going to just inhale, tuck the tailbone under, lift the hips just to a comfortable amount. Again, we don't need a deep stretch across the belly. You're gently going to press your shoulders into the earth. Soften the neck, the throat, the jaw. If it feels like you've got that racing heart rate or shortness of breath, come down and roll to your side. But also enjoying the feeling of strength in bridge pose, engaging your glutes, grounding through your feet, reaching through your knees. And then slowly roll it back down, vertebra by vertebra. Once you come to the earth, once again, just resting here, lift the pelvic floor. Feel that Mula Bandha engage. We're going to keep that lift through the pelvic floor. Even if it relaxes for a breath or two, just keep coming back to it as we take a happy baby pose. From here, you can take hold behind the knees and just hang out here, or you can lift your feet to the sky and gently draw down from the knees, or you got to take your knees nice and wide to get around the belly, but if it's available to you, you can hold the outer edges of the feet and then press your lower back into the floor. So the lower back pushes down as you gently pull through the knees or through the feet. Lift the pelvic floor. This is a great way to open the hips, but in a very stable position and without putting any extra pressure on your cervix. Still a little early to think about pressure on the cervix. We still want to keep that baby in for another month or so. And then exhale, gently release. From there, take the feet down to the ground. Take a moment to close your eyes, one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart. And letting go of the Ujjayi breath, just come back to that natural breath. From here, as we move into Shavasana, again, if you're comfortable lying on your back, you want to go right to your back, feel free. For the rest of us, we're going to build into that really nice supported side lying Shavasana. So a large pillow or bolster for under your head. Your blanket, you're going to fold it this nice long way to go under your belly and waist. And then one more bolster or large pillow for between the knees or underneath the top leg. So you make a little tunnel for your shoulder. Draw the bolster under your head, and you can let your top arm rest on it as well. And closing your eyes. From here, allow your body to sink and melt into the earth. And as you rest down, think now about letting go of any sense of control over your breath or your body. Just let the breath do what it wants to do. Let the body soften away any extraneous tension. And again, just cultivating that deep inner awareness, just noticing what's happening in your body from one breath to the next. Noticing where your body moves as you breathe. Noticing the ability of our exhales to help cultivate that more relaxed state. Noticing the ability of our inhales to help create more energy. More life force for the body. And as you find that balance between your inhales and your exhales, finding also that balance between that cultivation of positive energy, of life force, and that ability to relax, to soften, and to let go. So that the breath can both energize and calm us at the same time. But these two things are not mutually exclusive. And feel free to stay here as long as you'd like. When you're ready to come out, you can just gently wiggle fingers and toes. Any gentle stretches that feel good. If you're on your back, roll to your side for at least 3 breaths. If you're on your side, stretching there until we're all ready to come on back up to seated. Move any props that you don't need aside. As you come back to that comfortable cross-leg position, go ahead, close your eyes. Soften the shoulders. Feel that gentle lift through the crown of the head, and feel the breath once again drop down into the belly or towards the belly if it can't get all the way in there. With the eyes still closed, find a little hint of a smile as you inhale, hands float up overhead, palms touch. Exhale, thumbs to the forehead for peaceful thoughts, to the mouth for peaceful words, and to the heart for peaceful action. Om Shanti, Namaste. Well, thank you once again for coming on this fun prenatal yoga journey with me. I hope everything's going well for you in your pregnancy. I wish you the best of luck through this final stretch, and stay tuned for one more video for the final month of pregnancy and then onward into postnatal yoga. So thanks again for watching. Namaste.